It is not important in life to live, but important to live well. Life without challenges is a premature death. Success in this life is like a ladder. You cannot climb it with your hands in your pockets. Life has no meaning if a person has nothing to strive for. Tough times do not last forever. Try to make the strong blows life brings you only break what is outside you, and let them strengthen you from within. A pessimist is someone who sees nothing but the darkness of life. How difficult it is to see memories dancing before you when you know they will never return. Do not be sad if you are struck by an arrow from those closest to you. Know well that there is another person who will remove that arrow and bring your life back to you. A wise person said, "Beware the spiteful when they gain power, the ignorant when they decide, and the mean when they govern." The more society is deprived of living life, the more it craves death. How hard it is for a person to feel lonely despite the many people surrounding them. The most beautiful thing in this life is that a person is capable of both better and worse, which confirms to me that this life can only be a worldly one, and that absolute virtue does not exist on this earth. Life continues as long as our emotions continue. Without them, life becomes mere dust. Life begins when we set aside our ego and make room for loving others. You'll find that life is still beautiful if you smile. Life is like a mirror. You get the best results when you smile at it. A miser is someone who lives their entire life without tasting the flavor of life. There is no life with despair, nor despair with life. I marvel at those who think life is one thing and freedom another, and do not want to admit that freedom is the essential component of life, and that there is no life without freedom. Freedom is life, but there is no freedom without virtue. Life is short, but misfortunes make it long. Life has no flavor without hope. Blessed is the one who fills their life with good deeds, for they realize that it is too short to waste on wrongdoing. Life has no value unless we find something to fight for. Life has become difficult. If you want to reclaim it freely, be among the brave and the noble, push forward, and carve out a space for yourself to protect it on a day of hardship and strife. Death is better for a young man than his life, if he cannot stand for a cause without a leader. There is no doubt that life is precious, but your soul from your life is more precious. Life is sleep and death is awakening, and a person is between them a fleeting shadow. Do not ask me about the bygone nights, and save me from the remaining nights. Life is like a garden that has been locked. Its key is the trials and tribulations. Whoever strives will reach, and whoever is patient will attain, and after reaching, they will find welcoming arms. Life is clear only to the ignorant or the oblivious to what is past and what is expected, and for those who deceive themselves about the facts and seek the impossible. We live a multiplied life when we live for others. The more we amplify our sense of others, the more we amplify our sense of life, and we multiply this life itself in the end. And yet, despite all this, it is life, and we are required to live it as it is. Why does the old man weep for his youth, while the young man does not laugh for his childhood? Do not be deceived by the ease of the ascent if the descent is steep. Religion is the compass that helps a person maintain their correct direction in this life, and prevents them from wandering aimlessly, which may lead them to fall into the clutches of evil. When we live only for ourselves, life seems short and trivial, starting from when we begin to understand and ending with our limited lifespan. However, when we live for others, life appears long and profound, beginning from the dawn of humanity and extending beyond our departure from life. A nation whose men know how to die is a nation worthy of life. A student must show interest and desire in seeking an answer. The secret of life is to give for a purpose. There are those who complain that the rose has thorns, and those who are optimistic because there is a rose above the thorns. In the heart of every winter lies a spring, and behind every night's veil smiles a dawn. The pessimist sees nothing but the shadow of life. The most depressed people are those who do not know the reason for their sadness. Yesterday is a memory of today, and tomorrow is a dream. You cannot laugh and be harsh at the same time. Rely on God and do not despair. Your feelings must be positive. No matter the circumstances, challenges, or external influences. We see what we do not want and want what we do not see, thus losing the value of what we see. Keep an attractive smile on your face even if you don't feel like smiling. Pretend to smile. Address people by their names. Our names are the most beautiful thing our ears can hear. The negative self in a person seeks revenge and punishes, while true nature is purity and forgiveness. Live every moment as if it were the last. Live with faith, hope, love, and struggle. There are times we feel it is the end, only to discover it is the beginning. If you do not try to do something beyond what you have mastered, you will never progress. When we blame others, we become their victims. If you are with God, you are with the absolute majority. The most flexible person can control their feelings and achieve their goals. Winter is the beginning of summer. Darkness is the beginning of light. And failure is the beginning of success. The journey to success requires caring about success and looking at things with new eyes. Many important things are achieved by those who insisted on trying despite the lack of hope. Complete your difficult tasks first. The easy ones will take care of themselves. Remember that today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. You can gain more friends in 2 months by caring for others than in 2 years by seeking their care. The seeker of worldly gain is like a person drinking seawater. The more they drink, the thirstier they become. If you want to rid yourself of anxiety, count your blessings instead of your troubles. If you want to conquer fear, go out and occupy yourself. Rarely does a person succeed unless they enjoy what they do. Success is achieving what you want. Happiness is wanting what you have. Those who carry a spark of knowledge and long to reject routine are the ones who paint life beautifully despite exhaustion. Those who complain about lack and misfortune have treasures, but have lost keys: optimism, patience, and faith. Life is like a piano. Play both the white keys, happiness, and black keys, sadness, to create a melody. Life is 3 days: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Forgive and leave creation to the Creator. A single rose for a living person is better than a bouquet on a grave. Do not let challenges steal your dreams. Learn from them. When you are still, you find your ability to understand life. Every word and idea is a form of spiritual energy that activates life within you. Tilling the land and nurturing it makes one a philosopher. It is witnessing the birth of life. I love life, but refuse humiliation and aggression against myself. Just knock on the door. No need to twist and turn. We all meet, if only once. People whose words make us think forever. Faith is the root of life, from which all good branches spring. Life contracts and expands according to one's courage. Each situation requires a special approach. Wisdom is to handle each appropriately. Whoever tries to hold a candle by its flame burns their hand. You may forget those who laugh with you, but will never forget those who cried with you. Life is full of stones. Collect them and build a staircase to success. Life continues whether you laugh or cry. Do not burden yourself with worries. If your power leads you to oppress others, remember God's power over you. The one who misuses time is the first to complain about its brevity. Those who neglect themselves lose. Those who are patient gain. A person's adornment lies in their mind, dignity in wisdom, and beauty in thought. Whoever strives will find. Whoever sows will reap. It is not your fault to be born poor, but it is your fault to die poor. Virtue and wealth are weights on scales. One cannot rise without the other falling. The greatest calamity of ignorance is for the ignorant to be unaware of their ignorance. The quality of speech lies in brevity. Do not be soft so you are crushed, nor hard so you break. If you achieve victory, you do not need to justify it. It is better not to exist if defeated. Continue your path in life, and do not stop if you face difficulties. Take from this world what will benefit you in the afterlife. Heal others with the kindness of your heart and sincerity of feelings. See your flaws in the eyes of others and try to fix them. Be honest with yourself to be honest with others. Life is like a piano. There are white keys, happiness, and black keys, sadness. Make sure to play both to create a melody. Life is hope. Those who lose hope lose life. Creative minds remain alive through any type of bad training. Life is not measured by length, but by depth. The power of the mind is the spirit of life. When you stop contributing to life, you are dying. Life is like a mirror. It gives more than it reflects. Those who try to do something and succeed are definitely better than those who do nothing. Life is a dream from which death awakens us. Adventure is based on planning boldly and executing enthusiastically, mapping possibilities, and treating them as achievable. The time it takes to do a job correctly is less than the time spent explaining your failures. The extent of a person's desire to excel determines the quality of their life, regardless of their chosen field. Life grants greatness to some, but excellence to few. Life may be short or long. Everything depends on how we live it. A person begins to live when they can live outside themselves. The secret of life is to strive for a purpose. Experience is what people call their mistakes. Experience is not what happens to you. It is what you do about what happens to you. Life experience allows you to recognize mistakes if you encounter them again. Life begins when we set aside our ego and make space for loving others. Frustration, aggression, insecurity, loneliness, doubt, resentment, and emptiness are elements of failure. Beware of them. Failures are like scraped knees. Painful but superficial and heal quickly. Double your rate of failure. Failure is a strict teacher, but it is the best teacher. Failure turns into success if you learn from it. There is no such thing as an unintended accident. It is merely another name for destiny. Fear is the only thing I fear. Put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket closely. Our true happiness comes from giving ourselves to a specific goal and purpose. Genius is the ability to activate and implement what is in your mind. More important than knowing where we are is knowing in which direction we are moving. There is no end or beginning, only an infinite passion and love for life. If you do not know where you are heading, you will not arrive anywhere. Dogmatism doubles your efforts because you forget your goal. At first, we will be the best, and later we will be the first. I always wanted to be a great person, but I should have been more specific in my wish. You should have long-term goals to prevent feelings of frustration from short-term failures. The golden rule is that there are no golden rules. Initially, we create our habits, but eventually they create us. Those who are completely hopeful cannot be despaired. At the beginning of my life, I had to choose between being honest and arrogant or being hypocritical and humble. I chose to be honest and arrogant and found nothing to make me change my choice. Most good ideas are incredibly simple, leaving everyone wondering why no one thought of them before. Ideas should not remain as they are. They need to be put into action. Armies of invaders can be resisted, but any idea whose time has come cannot be resisted. Imagination is more important than knowledge. One correct idea saves us from endless experiences. Great ideas need wings to fly, as well as means to land. If you build castles in the air, it doesn't necessarily mean your work is wasted. That is a suitable place for them. Now start laying a solid foundation beneath them. The idea is the legitimate parent of the event. Ideas are very strange. They do not move unless you move them. Apologizing is much easier than asking for permission. Inspiration occurs when facts meet a prepared mind. The important thing is what you learn after you know. Laziness is just getting used to comfort before feeling tired. I hear and forget. I see and remember. I do and understand. Life is like a team of dogs pulling a sled. If you are not the team leader, the view will never change. You cannot choose how or when you will die. All you can decide is how you will live. So do it now. Al-Hasan al-Basri said about the world, "This world is dreams of sleep or a fleeting shadow. The wise are not deceived by it." Ali ibn Abi Talib said, "This world is a house of trials and a place of hardship. The happiest people here are those who desire it the least." Hatim al-Lassam said, "The world is like your shadow. If you chase it, it will flee, but if you leave it, it will follow." A wise person said, "The world gives to deceive, gives to take, gathers to scatter, and plants sorrows in hearts by reclaiming what is given." One of the flaws of the world is that it does not give anyone what they deserve. It either increases or decreases it. I cried when I came into this world, and every day that passes reveals the reason. Laugh, and the world will laugh with you. But if your snoring rises, you will find yourself sleeping alone. If you piled all the misfortunes of the world into one heap and allowed everyone to choose what they wanted, each person would choose their own misfortune. The bravest person is the one who resists their desires and restrains themselves from the world. The world is a prison for the believer and a paradise for the disbeliever. A person gathers while the world scatters. How beautiful is religion and the world when they come together. The world is loved but does not favor. The one who is self-sufficient in this world by the world is like extinguishing fire with straw. Imam Ali said about the world, "Do not be joyful about what you have gained from this world, nor sorrowful about what you have missed. Life is like salty water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Life is a heavy burden for some, while for others, they are a heavy burden on life. The world is loans and rewards. Life is hope with meeting and pain with parting. Whoever obeys their desires sells their religion for their world. Life is about give and take. Life offers experiences that wise people benefit from. Time consists of 2 days, one for you and one against you. If it is for you, do not be arrogant, and if it is against you, be patient. Happiness is like tomorrow. It may never come. The world is like a cup of honey with poison at the bottom. It offers immediate sweetness, but leads to deadly bitterness. The world is like the dreams of a sleeper that bring joy in sleep, but when they awaken, their joy ends. The world is like lightning that shines briefly and is gone quickly, leaving the hopeful in darkness. As long as there is hope in our hearts, we will achieve our dreams and move forward. Difficulties will not hinder our paths. If winter closes the doors of your house and ice hills surround you, wait for spring. Open your windows to the fresh air and look far away to see the flocks of birds returning to sing. Great hopes create great people. If yesterday is lost, today is in your hands. If today gathers its papers and departs, you have tomorrow. Do not be sad about yesterday. It will not return, and do not regret today. It is fleeting. Dream of a bright sun in a beautiful tomorrow. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, while the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. In the heart, there is a sadness that only joy in knowing God can remove. Everything difficult becomes easy if you seek help from God. A person can live without sight, but they cannot live without hope. Remember, my friend, that hope is a good thing, and good things never die. I have learned that there are many learned people, but few are cultured. If someone kicks you from behind, know that you are in the lead. If you look at existence with an optimistic eye, you will see beauty in every particle. The believer is like a green leaf. It does not fall no matter how strong the storms are. Those who possess innocence in their hearts plant hope, optimism, and love for life just by being near them. It is not important what happens to you, but rather what you will do with what happens to you. It is always better to look forward than to look back. Your feelings should be positive regardless of the circumstances, challenges, or external influences. You may endure pain for hours, but do not accept despair for a moment. Do not lose hope. Often, the last key in the bunch is the one that opens the door. Seek help from God and do not despair. We live to draw a smile, wipe a tear, and ease pain, because tomorrow awaits us and the past is gone. Your day will reflect the expression on your face, whether it is a smile or a frown. Hope is that small window. No matter how small it is, it opens wide horizons in life. The pessimist is a fool who sees the light before his eyes but does not believe it. Wait for a new light to sneak into your sad heart, bringing back joy to your days and hope to your beautiful pulse. People are like metals. They rust with boredom, expand with hope, and shrink with pain. I have seen nothing that frustrates hope and destroys work like excessive debate. Trusting in God is the purest hope, and reliance on Him is the most faithful action. Mustafa Sadiq al-Rafi'i. From dreams emerge precious things that do not fade in beauty. Do not hesitate to gather flowers and keep them, but walk, and you will find flowers along your path to enjoy. A person without hope is like a plant without water, without a smile like a flower without fragrance, and without faith in God, a beast in a merciless herd. The future is for those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The optimistic says, "My glass is half full," while the pessimist says, "My glass is half empty." The most beautiful and magnificent architecture in the world is to build a bridge of hope over a river of despair. There are people who are hope itself. When we have no hope left, we should not lose hope. Hope is the dream of a waking man. Everything may turn against you, but God remains with you. Be with God, and everything will be with you. Without hope for tomorrow, the oppressed would not have lived till today. I am pessimistic due to intelligence, but I am optimistic due to determination. Hope is the food of exiles. Why fear? The sun does not shine on one side without lighting another. If you lose your money, you lose something of value. If you lose your honor, you lose something priceless. But if you lose hope, you lose everything. A strong mind is always hopeful and has something to inspire hope. Sometimes, God closes a door before us to open another, better one. However, most people waste their focus and energy looking at the closed door instead of the open door of hope. The flower that follows the sun does so even on a cloudy day. The pessimist is a fool who sees the light before his eyes but does not believe it. Some complain that the rose has thorns. Others are optimistic because there is a rose above the thorns. Your day will reflect the expression on your face, whether it is a smile or a frown. The conscience is a quiet voice that tells you someone is watching you. Those who live with hope live desiring. We live to draw a smile, wipe a tear, and ease pain, because tomorrow awaits us and the past is gone. Hope is a candle still burning in the womb of darkness. The difference between the Islamic view and the pessimistic view is that Islam looks at life as it should be, while pessimism looks at life as it is. A person becomes old when excuses replace hope. There is no despair with life, and no life with despair. Whoever loves God sees everything beautifully. Hope is the patience of the tortured. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle. Optimism is generally higher in women than in men. The optimist looks into your eyes, while the pessimist looks at your feet. I comfort myself with hopes. How narrow life would be without the space of hope. People are like metals. They rust with boredom, expand with hope, and shrink with pain. Optimism gives you peace of mind in the most awkward moments. If yesterday is lost, today is in your hands. If today gathers its papers and leaves, you have tomorrow. The tongue is a criminal imprisoned behind the teeth. If you free it in anger, it will throw you into the prison of regret under the judgment of conscience. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Sometimes, a gift is wrapped in misfortune. If yesterday is lost, today is in your hands. If today gathers its papers and departs, you have tomorrow. Do not be sad for yesterday. It will not return. Do not regret today. It is fleeting. Dream of a bright sun in a beautiful tomorrow. If you are surrounded by delusions, worries, anxiety, and fears, keep your tongue moist with the remembrance of God. Do not lose your patience no matter how long the relief takes. Between your dream and its realization lies beautiful patience. Losing weight is the greatest example that some losses are gains. The sunset does not prevent a new sunrise. Hope is to smile without occasion, while everything inside you whispers, "Thank God." Do not despair if you stumble and fall into a wide pit. You will emerge from it more cohesive and strong, and God is with the patient. Do not travel to the desert in search of beautiful trees. You will find nothing but desolation there. Look at the hundreds of trees that shelter you with their shade, delight you with their fruits, and cheer you with their songs.